Beatles in the city, be back immediately to confiscate the monies.
Ray Scrum. Wow. My will.
Sent flowers, but you said you didn't receive. But you said you didn't need them. That girl is a real crowd, please. Small world, all her friends know of me. Young bull living like an old geese. Quick release the cash, watch it fall slowly. Frat girl still trying to get in. Haters mad for whatever reason. Smoke in the air, binge drinking. They lose it when the DJ drops the knee. Getting so gone, I'm not blinking. What in the world was I thinking? New day, new money to be made. There is nothing to explain. I'm a fucking black Beetle, cream seats in the Regal, rocking John Lennon lenses, like to see him spread eagle. Took a bitch to the club and let a party on the table, screaming everybody's famous. Like clockwork, I blow it all.
Triple Black Beetle. I'm in the building. Y'all better get ready, cause I don't know Cupcake Zone Podcast.
Small world, all her friends know of me. Young bull living like an old geese. Quick release the cash, watch it fall slowly. Frat girl still trying to get in. Haters mad for whatever reason. Smoke in the air, binge drinking. They lose it when the DJ drops the knee.
Came in with two girls, look like scribbles in they real.
Brr!
A yellow bitch with green hair, a real weirdo. Black man, yellow lamb, red like goat. They say they cool on them, just came in through the side though. It's so much money on the floor.
It's your boy Triple BLACK, aka the number one stunner, aka the boss, aka Black Trump, White Trump, Mexican Trump. We all Trump. Yeah, you already know what it is. No Cupcake Zone Podcast, man. Hey, man, shout out to everybody out there, man. It's gonna be all right, man. We gonna be all right. Hey, man, dog, man, it's treacherous out here right now, man. Hey, you Trump supporters, man, you can do all you want. But the moment you call me boy, you getting stretched out. You're getting laid out. Don't play with your boy. Anyways, man, just playing with y'all, man. Y'all go ahead and celebrate. Have the White House. It is the White House. You know what? Go and make some kale salad and have, cornhole parties there. It's yours, man. I'm about tired of you guys anyways, getting on Obama. It's y'all churn. Anyways, man, I'm going to take a quick commercial break, man. I'll be back with Adam Fisher on the line from the No Cupcake Zone. He's from the Naples Daily News. We're gonna talk about some, high school football. This is a big week, man. Hey, what you say, Frankie? Go ahead, Frank. Frankie, you want to host a podcast? Go ahead and say something, man. Go ahead. Hey. I know you ain't quite triple black yet, but hey. Frankie want to be a host. Man, holla at your boy. Quick commercial break.
If something happens to me, how is my family protected? Will I be able to retire one day? Am I covered? Are my taxes filed correctly? These are all important questions that need to be answered. Visit the experts at CJ Noel Insurance Services for all your financial and insurance needs. Internationally known for their excellence, CJ Noel Insurance has proudly served the Naples area for over 20 years and is the #1 Blue Cross Blue Shield health insurance provider in the Southwest Florida area. Conveniently located in Naples at 2800 Davis Boulevard, Suite 208. Stop by or call 239-403-8391 for an appointment or a quote.
Man, we got Adam Fisher on the line. Welcome to the No Cupcake Zone podcast, man. What's going, man?
Nothing, dude. It's good to be back in the biggest week of the year, at least so far until next week. Getting real excited about these playoff games.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, this been a wild season, huh?
Yeah, it's been fun, man. It's been up and down. Some teams start good, finish bad, start bad, finish good. But here we are. We got 7 teams in the playoff in our area, at least that we cover. And I think most of them were expected to be here. Now it's just about what they do once they get going.
Yeah, man. Man, before we get into it, man, I'm going to ask you 2 things. Who was the biggest surprise and who was the biggest disappointment this year?
Well, surprise is easy. I think we were all kind of blown away by Laley. If you remember Laley, they had some craziness go on in the off season. They fired their coach, Colmer St. Jean, who is a Laley legend. He led them to a district title, their first district title in 20 years in 2014. And then he had a rough year last year. In 2015, Laley went 2-8, and Colmer St. Jean gets fired. This is a guy that played football at Wisconsin. So this dude knows football. And he knows Laley. He's from Laley. So he gets fired. Everybody's mad. They come back, man. They start 4-1. Laley finishes the year 6-4. They end up as a disappointment because despite that hot start, they lose in a tiebreaker and they miss the playoffs. But still, to go 6-4 after going 2-8 last year, and with a new coach who came from Alabama, so from out of the area, I mean, that to me blew my mind away.
Yeah, I've actually been following lately, man. I had Coach Belser on a show a couple times.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, man. That was crazy. This kid, Gene Joseph, where the hell did he come from? This guy. So
wow. He's a crazy athlete, right? But so he's just a junior, so he's still fairly young for football. Last year he played as a sophomore, limited time. But even if you look at his snaps last year, I think he had something like, he only got the ball like 20 times, rushing and passing, but he still scored 3 or 4 touchdowns, did some things when he got the ball. So this year, they just took their quarterback, they threw the heck out of the ball, they threw it to Gene Joseph. He leads the area in receiving yards and receiving touchdowns after missing the last, I think, game and a half. I know he missed the last game for sure. He may have missed the second to last game. So the dude's quick. He's athletic. He even has a few return touchdowns. He played defense. It returned a interception. Yeah, he was really fun to watch, and as well as that quarterback, Jaquez Carter at Laley. He leads the area in passing. He was something like 4th or 5th in rushing with over 1,000 yards rushing. So dude's an athlete, and they're both juniors. They'll be back next year.
Yeah. Man, they should have beat Naples. I hate to say it, but they should have beat Naples. And
that was such a fun game.
Yeah. But I can't believe they didn't pull it out. It had all the makings. And, that's one they probably going to marinate on them all summer because they had them. They had them. They had them like they just had them. They had them on the goal line with the go-ahead touchdown, right?
Right. Yeah, they had, I want to say they were at like the 12 or 15-yard line on the final play, a touchdown and a 2-point would have tied it up. But still, to score whatever they scored, 34, 35 points on Naples is something phenomenal. So it just shows you just the amount of skill that offense has, and most of those kids are coming back next year.
Yeah. I tell you what my biggest disappointment this year is Naples' defense. They got carved up by everyone. It seems like. And you know what? It's not like exactly like their offense is like it's explosive. I mean, they score a lot of points, but they do it like ground and pound type way. But they give up a lot of points, man.
And it's unique for that Naples defense because, as you said, I think last year they were a very senior defense, a couple of 2- and 3-year starters on that defense. They give up something crazy, like 8 points a game. So this year they start out really well. You're thinking, oh, this defense got some talent again. First few games, they only give up average of 14 points, whatever. And then, starting with the Immokalee, they give up 42 points to Immokalee. That is the most points a Bill Kramer team has given up at Naples in the regular season. And I think only one other time have they given up that many points, and it was in the playoffs to a really good team like Miami Central or something. They give up 26 to Golden Gate. They give up 34 to Lely. South Fort Myers also scores 42 on them at Naples. Immokalee scored 42 at Naples as well. So, I think the youth of that defense really caught up to them. Remember, this Naples team only had 5 starters back, and 3 of them were receivers. So they were very, very young and inexperienced.
Yeah. How about Gulf Coast? Disappointment?
No, just the way they've ended the year. They Gulf Coast is so weird because they came out from like the biggest expectations. This is a team everybody's picking. Then the biggest disappointment, and now the biggest surprise. I don't know how you can be the biggest disappointment and the biggest surprise within a 2-month span, but they've done it. So they start 1-3. People are losing their minds because they were so hyped up because they've got great running back, great quarterback, like 7 guys with Division I offers. But so they're 1-3 when they lose to Naples. They've won 6 in a row. They beat South Fort Myers, who beat Naples to win Gulf Coast's first district championship. They're hosting a playoff game this week for the first time in school history since 1998. So they've really turned things around. They've done it with some really, really good defense. And you don't think of Gulf Coast as being a defensive school. However, it's a really, really tough test this week, which I'm sure we'll talk about soon.
Yeah. Hey, they say all games matter, but let's keep it real. The only game that really matters is the Naples game. Besides Naples, who do you think in Southwest Florida that really has a chance to go deep or even win state?
I mean, it's tough. You look at the team we just mentioned, Gulf Coast, and they play in the district with South Fort Myers. South Fort Myers traditionally does well in the playoffs. They're 9-1. However, Gulf Coast and South Fort Myers are in a ridiculous region. They have to play teams that are ranked in the top 5. Both of those teams do. So that's going to be tough. You got Barron Collier, you got Immokalee. They're both on the road. Community School makes a playoff appearance. They're on the road at a good team. The team I think has a chance to make another pretty good run is First Baptist. They're playing in 2A. They played a really tough schedule. First Baptist is 7-3, but those 3 losses are to teams that are bigger than them and teams that are in the playoffs. So in 2A, they've been running over teams in their district. They won 7 in a row before losing their season finale. So, and also First Baptist, they won a regional championship last year. So I think they're probably the team I would pick to make the deepest run along with Naples.
Yeah. Hey, Coach Spracio's son, is he legit? Mm-hmm. I've never seen him play, but is he legit?
He is, especially for a 2A kid. I mean, he's going to make All-State again this year. He's even better than he was last year when he made All-State as a linebacker, and he's just a junior. I mean, this kid is solid. Spracio's not a big dude. He's probably like Coach Spracio. He's maybe like 5'10", but he played fullback in college, played at Colgate, so he's a stout guy. His son's like 6'1", 250. I mean, this dude is beefy, and he's a junior. Plays 2 ways, linebacker, and kind of a running back, receiver hybrid. He's among the leaders in the area in tackles, among the leaders in rushing yards. So he's legit. He's getting looks by some Division I teams, including Clemson. And if he doesn't go a big time like that, I'm sure he'll be a lower level guy. The question is always competition, of course. First Baptist, like I said, 2A. They're playing smaller schools, but Sparacio, just seeing his size and the way he plays and his football knowledge, having a dad as a coach is such an advantage. I think he could start anywhere in the county.
Okay. Yeah, man. So, Offensive Player of the Year, man. Who you give that to?
Yeah, I was just thinking about this today, actually, because I'm going
I
through
know
the
you don't
stats.
want to
We do our
leak.
stats every
I know
week.
you guys pick a player, but just name a couple people that really got a viable chance of winning it.
Well, the guy I think is probably, in my mind, leading, and of course we all vote on this at the paper and other people have input, but in my mind it's Jaquez Carter, the Lely quarterback, just because. I mean, he's thrown for 1,700 yards and 20 touchdowns. I don't know the numbers from last year off the top of my head, but I don't remember last time we had a guy throw for 1,700 yards. That's a lot. For 10 games in a high school season, usually a guy throwing for that many has a couple playoff games, whatever. So Carter throws for 1,720 touchdowns. He also runs for 1,019 yards and 11 touchdowns. I mean, that's ridiculous. And he almost single-handedly led this Lely resurgence. We mentioned Gene Joseph, who was a very important part of the defense, which did well. So he's up there. We talk about First Baptist. A kid named Jace Howell leads the area in rushing, 1,567 yards, 22 touchdowns. Another small school kid, Joe Lang at CSN, he's kind of done it all. He has 1,200 yards rushing. He has, something like 600 yards receiving. So he's done really well. At the beginning of the year, we talked about how Naples kind of started hot and did really well. They were scoring 50 points a game. Their running back, Marcelino Charles, I'm thinking this kid's going to run for 2,000 yards. He had like 600 yards in the first 4 weeks. He's kind of tapered off. He's still less than 900 now, so I don't know if he's necessarily in the running. Oh, Immokalee, you want to talk to big historical programs, got a kid, Fred Green, who's still just a junior. He's got 1,100 yards rushing, something like 19 touchdowns, so he's up there too.
But don't you think Charles was a victim of their success? Because if you look at their offense, they have basically a three-headed monster, maybe four-headed, and they have a pretty good receiver too. But don't you think that he was a victim of their offense and their success?
Yeah, that definitely hurt him, especially in the second half of the season. They got a sophomore running back who's just a sophomore, but he's really good. Ches Malusi, he's kind of risen up. He's kind of been the leader, at least in total offensive yards the past couple weeks, the second half of the season. Also, Charles missed a game with an injury, and anytime you're at Naples and you're scoring 50 points a game against bad teams, their starters don't play in the second half. So, if Marcelino Charles got the workload of Jace Howell at First Baptist, he'd probably have 2,000 yards. But also, let's be fair and let's be honest. Naples' offense has not looked like itself towards the end of the season. If you read my stories, I've covered them a lot, and I throw the stats out there. I can't recall them off the top of my head, but Naples was rushing for something like 375 yards a game the first 5 games. 4 stretch there, including against Lely, there was something like less than 200 yards a game, which is not good for Naples. So their offense really kind of sputtered at times, and I think that also hurt Charles.
Yeah. A player that I think if he was, I'm not going to say Gulf Coast is not a great offense or whatever, but I think if he had more of an opportunity, that guy, Townsend, DeMarcus Townsend's a beast. He's a beast.
Yeah, he's a junior. I think we talked about him in the preseason because he came in. We talked about how Gulf Coast had these expectations. So many accolades, he had these preseason or workout numbers, what they say, he was number 1 in the country in Nike Spark rating, which is a rating that judges athleticism, had the number 1 vertical in the country. And then he comes in, and he didn't do a lot at the beginning, and he's gotten really good, but he's been hurt, too, by the fact that he's the only weapon they had for a while at Gulf Coast. They got a pretty good passing game at Gulf Coast. It's not as good as I think they wanted it to be. And his Townsend's complement in the backfield, Daniel Rendon, he got hurt in the 4th game of the year against Naples, and that was a guy that was leading the area in rushing. So Townsend is the biggest weapon on that Gulf Coast, and defenses know it. However, he's still been able to rush for about 900 yards and looks pretty good, especially after, we talked about Gulf Coast really struggled early, and people were kind of saying, well, what's this Townsend kid? He's got 833 yards, 11 touchdowns. Again, he missed the last game because they were resting him from the playoffs, so that's a 9 game. So he's come on kind of late, but yeah, if he had some more weapons around him, I think he could be even better.
Yeah. Man, what's up with this air raid emergence of these high schools? When I was in high school, you know, there was, some teams can chuck the ball, but it seems like everybody can chuck the ball. Is it just bad defense, or is it just in high school they're just that ahead of the learning curve?
I think that's been a focus of the offense. It's kind of trickled down from, the NFL that's gotten pass heavy, and then you see it in the college game with the spread offenses, and it's really, really improved. I came down here 9 years ago. 2007 was my first season. I came down from Indiana, and up there it's what you think of Indiana football: cornfields and three yards in a cloud of dust, just driving. You wouldn't see a quarterback throwing the ball that much, but like you said, everyone down here can throw the ball. I'm looking at the stats now. We've got 4 guys over 1,000 yards passing for the season, and that's in 10 games. That's still a lot for a high school game. I think it's just the evolution of football, the evolution of the offense, and it's fun, man. I mean, it's fun to watch. I know that doesn't matter. Coaches want to win games no matter how, but if you can sell tickets, that helps your athletic program, so keep throwing that ball.
Yeah, it's amazing because, you would just get in the shotgun, like maybe at the end of the games when you needed a touchdown and chucking. But there's like a team like Laley, they're going in shotgun 4 wide, 5 wide, all game long, which is amazing to me that, the level sophistication that, some of these quarterbacks can read a defense and actually sit in the pocket and make throws like that. It's kind of amazing. I'm just kind of excited to see him at the next level.
Yeah, and as you said, everyone can do it now. You look at the stats, and even the small school, St. John Newman, who barely has 25 guys on the roster, they've got a quarterback that's been chucking it like crazy, averaging about 100 yards a game. First Baptist, their quarterback has 700 yards just in 6 games because their starter got hurt, and he's their second-string guy. Their second-string guy has 700 yards and 11 touchdowns passing, so everyone can whip it.
Yeah, Palmetto Ridge, I heard they had their 3rd-string quarterback come in there and chuck it.
Yeah. And you know what? This last game, so you're talking about Kenneth Geiger. He was a receiver last year at Palmetto Ridge, and their starter got hurt towards ACL. Second-string kid didn't work out that well. So they're going with this kid, Kenneth Geiger. Last week in his final high school game, Palmetto Ridge isn't going to the playoffs. He throws for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. The whole season, he only had 500 yards. So he's like number 5 in the area in passing now, just on the strength of that one game.
Yeah, man. Man, it's so exciting, man. Let's talk about some of these previews, man. The Naples game, man. What you know about that game?
So Naples hosting Lehigh, a team that is 6-3. I don't think they've played as tough a schedule as Naples. They're in kind of a weak district. But they've got a kid, Lehigh, Chris Curry. Well, I saw him in the spring. Oh, yeah, a big dude. Well, Bill Kramer even told me he reminds me of Carlos Hyde, a Naples guy who's in the NFL now, because he's just a big dude that can blast through people, but he also has some speed.
Yeah, I seen him play Barron, and I was on the internet. I wasn't actually on the game. He broke like 2 99-yard touchdowns.
Right. Something like 2 90-yard runs. When I saw him in the spring at Immokalee, he had the same thing. He had 15 carries for 225 yards and 4 touchdowns. I mean, he's a legit threat to score every time he gets the ball. And so that's kind of worrisome for Naples. Naples doesn't lose in the first round. They've won something like 13 straight in the first round in the past 15 years. However, we talked about that Naples defense before. They have a penchant for giving up the big play this year. However, it's been mostly through the air. If you look at the teams that have put up a bunch of points on Naples, it's because they have a quarterback that has thrown for a ton of yards, a ton of touchdowns, haven't given up a ton rushing. So I think that kind of bodes well for the Golden Eagles.
Yeah. So what does Naples have to do to win this game? Stop Chris Curry, that's it? Or do they have anybody else?
I mean, I think that's it. There's not a lot of stats out there on Lehigh. They don't use the online stat site that a lot of teams have, and I kind of asked around. Yeah, I think that's it. They just got a good rushing game, and they're inexperienced. That's key, too. I mean, at Naples, the playoffs are a culture. Most coaches are playing for the regular season. Bill Kramer coaches for a 15-week year because he includes the playoffs. They just expect to have a deep playoff run. And they're at home. and those crowds in Naples are pretty crazy. Lehigh is used to not playing, or to playing in front of not that many people. I think they'll be a little shell-shocked to come into Naples. Lehigh didn't go to the playoffs last year, a lot of young kids, so I think intimidation alone gives Naples a 7-point edge right there. But if they can just take care of business, score some touchdowns with Marcelino Charles, I think they'll be okay.
Prediction, what's the score?
I think I picked Naples something like 40-20 or something like that. I don't think it'll be close, but I don't think it'll be like a running clock game or anything like that.
Yeah, okay. All right, man. So Gulf Coast, man, tell me what you know about that preview, man.
So like I said, Gulf Coast, South Fort Myers, they're in a really, really tough region. Gulf Coast is hosting Bradenton River. So Braden River's a district runner-up. They have to travel. However, they're 8-1. They're ranked number 5 in the state, and they didn't win their district championship because the other team in their district is Venice, who's 9-0 and ranks number 2 in the state. And so those districts match up. So South Fort Myers is at Venice. Braden River is at Gulf Coast, and this Braden River team scores a ton of points. Their only loss is to Venice, who's undefeated. But like I said, Gulf Coast defense is playing really well. I spoke to kind of their defensive leader this week, Carl Simon, this linebacker, who's just a beast, just getting tackles on top of tackles. And he told me, he said, we don't feel pressure because we know our offense is going to score, and we know we're playing well right now. However, they haven't faced anyone. Although Gulf Coast did play South Fort Myers. South Fort Myers put up 42 points at Naples. The next week, they're held to 6 points at Gulf Coast. So that kind of makes you think this could be closer than maybe some people are saying.
Yeah. So is this team that they're playing full of standout player, D1 athletes and everything?
They are, from what I've heard. I haven't dug into it real deep yet. I haven't done my preview. I just look at the numbers, and I know that they do score a ton of points. They don't give up a ton either. I mean, most of their victories have been, those running clock variety, 35 points or more, and they're coming from a really, really tough football area in Bradenton. You got your Manatee up there, you got your Southeast. Obviously, like I said, Venice is in their district, so they play a ton of really good programs. And Gulf Coast, say what you will about Southwest Florida football, there are some bad teams, as we know, and in Bradenton, everybody has skill and size, so that's kind of probably Braden River's advantage.
Yeah. All right. How about Immokalee, man? Where's Immokalee? What do they got on the platter?
So in 5A, Immokalee travels to Wauchula Hardy High School in Wauchula, and this is a very interesting matchup because they're basically the same team. 2 5A teams, 2 rural counties in the middle of the state. Small towns where these kids live and breathe football. They wake up in the morning thinking about football. That's all a lot of these kids have to look forward to. Agricultural community that everyone comes out on Friday night, lives and dies by their high school team. And both of them play kind of a brand of hard-nosed, fast, athletic football. Hardy, you look, they're 8-2, but they're not blowing people out. They only average about 22 points a game. That's not a ton in high school, but they're only giving up 10 points a game. So like I said, it's that physical, hard-nosed football where they grind out these victories. And Immokalee, they've shown that they can score a lot this year. They can score with a big play. We mentioned that Naples game. They scored 42 points at Naples because they threw 5 touchdowns. They've also got Fred Green, who I mentioned, who can score by himself anytime he gets the ball. So that's going to be really interesting. What's tough is it's a 2.5-hour bus drive to Hardy, and as I said, it's a hostile atmosphere. The whole town's going to be out, so that's going to put the Indians at a disadvantage.
Wow. Hey, what's up with that little quarterback that guy's got to be like 5'6", maybe 5'5", but he throws for a ton of yards, man. What's up with that guy? That little guy.
It's weird out there because Nathaniel Betancourt is their starter, who you're talking about. I believe he's a junior. Mm-hmm. He's the guy that throws 5 touchdown passes in one half against Naples. Against Naples, a team that never gives up that many points. But then he had a few incompletions in the second half, and he gets benched. They bring in this freshman, a freshman kid who is a stud himself for a freshman. He was like a Pop Warner superstar out there in Immokalee. I think he led that Pop Warner youth team in Immokalee to a state title. R.J. Rosales, he's had a lot of success. So they got these 2 quarterbacks they're flipping through, and most people don't particularly like that. You know, they say you got to stick with one guy, but Rodlin Anthony and Immokalee Guy, who's their head coach this year, kind of goes with the hot hand. When he needs a spark, he brings in Rosales. If Rosales isn't getting it done, he sticks with Betancourt. So it's interesting. You don't know what you're going to get, and maybe that keeps, Hardy off guard and gives Immokalee an edge.
Yeah, they say if you have two starting quarterbacks, you have no quarterback. That's what the saying is. Man.
And I kind of feel that way, too.
Yeah. They also got another receiver. I think his name is Lewis, man. Talk about that.
Yeah, Lewis. Shedro Lewis. And he's a guy, too. We keep going back to this Naples game, but he blew up. He only had a handful of catches before that. And the Naples game, I think, was the 5th game of the year. He had 4 of those touchdown receptions in the first half at Naples. And he's got a solid little year. It's been kind of up and down. And I don't think that's necessarily his fault or the offense's fault. I just think they have such a good running offense, and sometimes when that's going, they have a tendency just to run the ball and only throw it 4 or 5 times. I'm trying to look it up here, but Lewis, he's going to finish one of our leading receivers. He's got 354 receiving yards and 7 touchdowns on just 15 catches. So what is that? He's averaging, 22 yards a catch, something like that? That's crazy.
Yeah, man. Boy, this is so exciting, man. I can't wait I got to go hit one of these games. I think I'm going to hit the Naples game. But CSN, man, talk about that game, man. What do they got on the platter?
So community school has been good right now. They're kind of like we talked about Braden River. They're in a tough district. Community school is 8-2, has been beating the crap out of everyone except for First Baptist, who they're in the district with. And so they lose to First Baptist, and they lost bad. I mean, surprisingly bad. They lost 54-7 to First Baptist.
But I heard
however, they're still 8-2.
They didn't have their starting quarterback.
Yeah, their quarterback got injured on his first pass. And that really threw them for a loop. They had a backup guy, but he really wasn't ready. So the next game, their backup quarterback looks pretty good. Just that game, he wasn't prepared, I don't think. But they have their starter back, Cooper Weiss. However, they got to go on the road now to Champagnat Catholic, and that sounds like a made-up word, and I probably said it wrong, but it's some Catholic. No, Champagnat. Champagnat. Some French word. I don't know. But this team is good. The team they got to play at is 9-1. Their only loss is to an undefeated 3A school. So it's going to be really tough. They got to go over to the Miami area, which we all know is the best football in the country, some would say. So I think I'm picking the opponent. Hey, what's up, man? You there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry about that. I think we lost signal. So you think the opponent is going to win?
I think so, just because, like I said, they got a good record. They're a tough team. They're played in Miami. Community school, this is only their second playoff game. It's not like they're playoff veterans, and they lost last year on the road. However, like I said, I would love to see community school win and play First Baptist again in the second round.
Oh, okay. Are they slated to play First Baptist?
Yeah, the way these match up, so the districts the local teams are coming from, if those two teams win, they'll play each other in the second round. So if Gulf Coast and South Fort Myers win in 7A, they'll play each other. If Naples and Barron Collier win, they'll play each other. If First Baptist and Community School win in 2A, they would play each other. So we'd get a local matchup if the local teams win, and that's always fun in the postseason.
Yeah. Speaking of Barron Collier, you know what? Let me just bust a couple shots at Barron. That's the team I just don't like. I don't know why. I don't know. There you go.
It's because you played at Naples.
Yeah. Hey, you know what, man? I wish we could tear one of their goalposts again. Just a sequel of the goalpost game.
Right.
Yeah, man. But they they were decent this year, man. I'm not going to fret. I mean, they might have played in a weak district. I think were they 5-4 and made the playoffs?
They went 5-5. However, they lost to Naples in the district title game. That's who they finished district runner-up to. They lost to North Fort Myers, who is a pretty good team. But, yeah, they're also in a district with Golden Gate and Palmetto Ridge, who weren't very good this year. Last year Palmetto Ridge beat Barron to get to the playoffs. So, however, Barron, I think this Barron team is better than last year. And last year they were 6-4, but missed the playoffs. This year they're 5-5 and make the playoffs. The question with the Cougars is their quarterback missed the past 3 or 4 games with a punctured lung.
Ooh.
Dude got a punctured lung in a game and finished the game. Like, that's the kind of blue-collar atmosphere that Coach Mark Jackson has brought. Yeah, dude's tough. So I think he's going to be back, but I haven't heard for sure.
Wow, man. So who they got on offense, man? The only person that I see that stands out just in the write-ups is that Dana Brown.
Yeah. So he's coming real strong late. Barron's kind of got this team that just kind of got a bunch of guys that can do a lot of things. So no one has a ton of yards, no one has a ton of catches or even attempts except for Dana Brown, and he's been strong lately. He's averaging about 100 yards the past 5 or 6 games, and he comes from the family, I don't know if you remember, Breon Brown, who played at Golden Gate, and he had a bunch of brothers. So, and he did real well last year. He's a junior. They've kind of leaned on him recently without their quarterback, so he's kind of been their passing game. But if Jack Buell, the quarterback, is back, look for them to air it out a little bit more than they have. And they're playing at Fort Myers, and Fort Myers is legit. They're always a good team.
Yeah. I don't even know if I read the schedule wrong, but I thought Fort Myers was supposed to play Naples the last game of the year.
No, I don't think that was right. Because they will play in the
schedule. Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, because if Naples and Fort Myers win, which I think Fort Myers should probably beat Barron, they'll play in the second round, and that's what happened last year. And then Naples won to play Charlotte, and Charlotte's undefeated again. That's a team Naples could see in the third round in the regional championship game.
Right. So Fort Myers, man, what do you see happening in that game? Because they got that big time recruit Darren Felix, which is one of the top recruits in the country, man. 200, 300 yards rushing.
Yeah, see, I don't know, because Barron's defense has played well at times. Other times they've given up some points, but there's some very good offenses. And for as many athletes as Fort Myers had, in certain games they haven't scored a ton. You know, they lost to South Fort Myers, only scored 14 points. So it's I don't know. It could be a big shootout. It could be a 10-6 game. I don't really know what to expect with Barron Collier.
Oh boy, man! So the last game, man, is that the last game of the FBA, and who are they playing?
So they're playing some team called Village Academy from Delray Beach. They're 3-7. It's one of those situations where it's a small district, and you only have to play a handful of district games, and if you win, you're in the playoffs. And so that's what happened. But Coach Sparaccio has told me, man, don't sleep on Village Academy. They're 3-7. Last year they played at First Baptist and played them decently. First Baptist won. The final margin looked bad, but it's a team that plays in a tough district. They play in that district with Champagnat Catholic I was telling you about earlier. They're 3-7, but they played some really good schools over there on the East Coast. They've got some athletes too, but I don't expect First Baptist to win this. I mean, they're rolling right now, First Baptist, even though they got beat pretty bad in their final regular season game, but that was against a top 10 team in 3A, which is a class above 2A that First Baptist plays in. But I think the Lions should win that one pretty easily.
Yeah. So let me get this. How's First Baptist? Is it just coaching, or do they have superior players at that level?
You know, I wouldn't say they have superior players. They have really good players for a 2A school, but they don't have anyone greater than, community school. I've been covering First Baptist since they started in 2009. I did a bunch of stories when they started, and then 4 years later, with their first 4-year class, they win the first district championship. Since then, they've won 5 straight district championships. So that first year they won in 2012, I was talking to some other coaches, and I talked to Bill Kramer, who knows a thing or two about building a program, and he said they have the will and the means to win, which means they have the support of the administration. Obviously, they're a private school, so they've got the money. I mean, if you look at their facilities, they're phenomenal. They've got good weightlifting facilities, great field, great training facilities, and a good coach. I mean, and one of the key things, you look at Naples, why are they so good year after year? It's because Bill Kramer has had his top 2 assistants, Sam Dollar and Paul Horn, for all 19 seasons he's been at Naples. That's insane in high school football. No one stays around for 19 years.
Right.
First Baptist, the same thing. His top two assistants have been there the entire time since they started in 2009. They've built a continuity. They've won 5 straight district championships, which has led to a tradition there and an expectation that it's going to keep going, and the kids want to keep that up. So they've done a really good job building a program, especially in just, 2009. So this is the 7th season, the 8th season. So, yes, it reminds me a lot of Naples, like I said.
Yeah. All right, that's all the playoff games, right? There's nobody else playing, right?
Right. I think we touched on all the 7 games we got.
Yeah. So for the teams that are outside looking in, man, who has the best future, do you see?
That's a good question. The one that comes to mind, just because I covered them so recently, is Golden Gate. They went 3-7 this year. However, they started 0-4, went 3-3 for a stretch. Is that right? Yes, 3-3 in their final 6 games, and they did it with a lot of sophomores. They had to start a sophomore quarterback because their senior starter, who was their leading athlete, basically got kicked off the team. I don't know the details. I just know he was suspended for undisclosed reasons and never came back. But they started 6 or 7 sophomores from a team that went 8-0 as freshmen. This year's freshman team went 7-1, so you're going to get another class of young sophomores that are good next year. And Mike DeGrigley, we talk about coaching continuity. He's been there. This was his 6th year. It'll be his 7th year next year. So, and they're in a winnable district.
Yeah, let me bust a couple shots because I know a couple people that don't have too many good things to say about that coach. That he's the reason that they don't get nowhere.
It's funny because I wondered this year. I asked a guy who used to teach at Golden Gate for a long time. He wasn't a coach; he just taught there. And I said, "What's up with DeGrigley? Like, is his rope getting tight around his neck? Is he going to get cut?" And they said, "No. The administration loves him. He's been there forever. The kids like him." So I don't know as far as coaching style. I know this year they tried to switch up offenses, and install some new complicated scheme, and it did not work. I mean, their first 4 games were terrible. They scored something like 3 touchdowns in their first 4 games. So that didn't work, but to his credit, he turned things around. 6-6 with some sophomores. That's impressive. I have to cover so many teams, I can't get into specific X's and O's about everyone. I honestly don't know how good DeGrigley is at calling a game. I just know that I like him. He's a good dude. Like, he always answers my phone calls and talks to me honestly. And as a media guy, that's what I care about.
Yeah, but I heard, they're loaded with athletes, but they just can't put it together because of the. Well, you know what?
It's funny because you hear that about Laley too, loaded with athletes, and they finally put it together this year with a coaching change. That doesn't bode well for DeGrigley, but so maybe it's possible. We've seen that with some explosive dudes like Laley has, you can turn things around quickly. I don't think it's crazy to think Golden Gate can go from 3-7 next year to 6-4 and compete for a playoff spot.
Yeah. How about Palmetto Ridge, man? What are their future looking like? Because they had some good athletes.
Yeah, it's hard to tell because they lost so much from last year. Last year was this dream season where they go 8-2 in the regular season, school record, go to the playoffs for the first time in a decade under a 33-year-old first-time head coach. And so he did so well so quick, you think, okay, he's got something going. He's building a program. Well, this year they kind of took a step back just because they lost so much. I mean, they lost, something like 18 starters. It was ridiculous, including 10 on offense. But I think a good amount of guys on offense. The problem is they had 10 seniors on defense, so now you're starting all over on defense. It's just changing that attitude, and I trust in it's Chris Tokinen, who came over from Cocoa, who when he was there, they won 3 state championships. You want to talk about small school powers. Cocoa is one of them. And so he's got that pedigree. He's got that mindset of a champion, of a winner. And I think you will see Palmetto Ridge be more competitive in years to come.
Yeah. How about St. John Newman, man? What do you think the future looks like for them? Any encouraging
Man,
signs?
Yeah, as a reporter, as I said, I'm biased. I don't have a favorite, but it's such a cool story at St. John Newman now because Coach Damon Jones is a Laley guy, and he's a Naples guy, an East Naples guy, which is kind of in that neighborhood where Newman is. Goes to Laley, goes and plays at Dartmouth, an Ivy League school. comes back, coaches at Immokalee, starts community school, goes and coaches at Riverdale, and now he's back at St. John Newman. Newman didn't win a game last year. They're 0-9. This year, he's pulling kids from the soccer team. He's pulling kids from the basketball. He's wandering the halls of the school saying, hey, you want to play football? Because he needed bodies. He didn't have anyone. He had like 18 kids during spring ball. Come out, they go 5-5, and with a couple of close losses, could have easily been 7-3. I mean, it's great. And I mentioned to Grigley, I like him. He's a nice guy. Damon Jones is one of the nicest coaches I've ever met. Just polite, good dude. And he's a good coach, too. We see that he's done well. And his son is a baller. I mean, he's a junior. Jensen Jones, he's in the top 10 in the county in rushing and receiving. Like, he's a good player, too. So I do think Newman has some bright future. But, again, they're in that tough district. They got to contend with community school, who we've seen can win some games, and First Baptist, who we talk about as a oncoming juggernaut.
Oh, that's good, man. All right, man. Let's switch lanes for a little bit, man. Actually, just for one more topic, man. I go on Facebook a lot, and I know you guys are split now from, you don't do Lee County coverage, but, some of your colleagues do Lee County coverage. And
right.
Some of the commentary is very, very biased. And the reason I say that is they always mention Southwest Florida like Lee County is Southwest Florida. And they all never seem to mention, I don't know if they can or they just refuse to mention Naples, Lely, and Gulf Coast and those teams. And if you look at, Collier County versus them, I think we pretty much run the table on them this year. Why is that? Why don't they respect Collier County?
I think it's just a matter of, like you said, how we're divided in terms of media. If you're talking just newspapers, our beat, Naples Daily News is Collier County. Fort Myers, News Press, their beat is to cover Lee County. And if you look at it the other way, I'm not out there talking about Lee County and giving props to Fort Myers or Cape Coral or whomever just because my area of expertise, my focus day in, day out is Collier County. I don't know a ton about Lee County schools. So I'm just throwing that out there. That could be for them. I don't know. You have to ask them, but that's, I'm guessing, what it is. However, you want to talk about Lee versus Collier, you might be right. I remember when I first moved down here, we did a big story about looking at the records between Lee and Collier teams, and I think Collier County had the advantage. Now, a lot of that is Naples because they beat everybody in the area. Lee County, Charlotte County, Collier County.
Hey, no, we were just talking about the Lee County versus Collier County because
right.
My perception is Lee County just looks past all of Naples. Actually, I was having a Facebook conversation one day, and I don't know if this guy was just out of touch, but he was just like, Naples, who is Naples? Naples used to be a stat game. I was like, what?
I think that guy was out of touch. That was 20 years ago.
Yeah. Shout out to Andrew Layton. I got to get him on the show, man. But he has a show called was it Big Dream Sports, and he posted something, and they were talking about the best offense in Southwest Florida. They put the name Southwest Florida, and then I had a whole bunch of people going Ida Baker and blah blah blah. I'm like, are you guys asleep? Naples has been putting in that work for how long now? In 40 points a game, and you guys are not mentioning them. Nobody mentioned them, and then we were just going back and forth, and I don't know. It just seems like a lot of Lee County people just don't even. I guess they forget Naples is part of Collier County.
Yeah, I think they do. I think they just get caught in their own little bubble, which is funny because every time, one of our teams plays a Lee County team, I ask them, does this mean anything to you? Because it's not a district game, not a county game. And they say, yeah, man, it's for county bragging rights. We want to prove who's the best, who has the best brand of football in Southwest Florida. And maybe Lee County doesn't feel that same way. I don't know.
Yeah. So who would you say top to bottom? because South Fort Myers, they've beat Naples. I think they're the only team that's beaten Naples in like the last 10 years, or from that county. I know they. They won that Sammy Watkins last minute touchdown, or at the end of the game. I think that was like the last time they beat them before this time.
Yeah, that was 2010 playoffs. That was the last time Naples lost to a Lee County school. Now they don't play Lee County a lot because Lee County teams won't play them. And it's funny to talk to Bill Kramer. A lot of times he he calls them out, man.
Yeah, I thought it was the other way around.
Bro, I don't know what's going on, man.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. But, we'll wrap it up, because, it's, I don't know. It doesn't go on my end. It doesn't say anything on my end. But,
This one said no signal again, so I don't know if I'm having trouble wherever the hell I'm at my place. So I'm sorry about that.
No, that's fine. But, quickly, so before we drop off or whatever, so Coach Kramer called out Lee County because I thought the perception that we didn't want to play Lee County teams.
Well, he has said to me before, and this is during interviews, so I'm not speaking out of turn here. He's giving me quotes that I could put in stories. It's fine. He said, he had trouble scheduling, but he calls them the Lee County All-Stars because kids can transfer willy-nilly up there. Look at all the good kids in Fort Myers are going to either South Fort Myers or North Fort Myers because they can. And now, it's not to say there's no transfers in Collier County, but it's much. Yeah, hit me up big on Twitter at NDN_Adam. That's the letters NDN for Naples Daily News _Adam. Hey, just started a Prep Zone Instagram. I'm trying to get up there. So it's NDN Prep Zone on Instagram. So find me there.
Yeah. And also, don't you guys have a weekly show? Because I saw Coach Webb doing an interview. Do you guys do that still?
Yeah, we got 2 video shows we will do as long as the football season is going on, as long as we got teams playing. We go out to a school with Coach Weber and talk to some players and coaches. And we also, I do a studio show where I kind of give a breakdown of the top 5 games in the area. And those are posted on naplesnews.com/prepzone throughout the week.
All right, man. Man, thank you so much, man. I got to have you during basketball season, man. I'm probably going to cover a little basketball this year, man. Are you a basketball guy?
Dude, I told you, I'm from Indiana. I live and breathe basketball. I like basketball better than football. The problem is I'm the only one in Southwest Florida. Nobody gives a crap about high school basketball down here, but I do. So I would love to talk basketball with you anytime, man. Just hit me up.
All right, absolutely, man. Because I talked to the Lely coach, man, and I'm gonna have him on his show, on my show, to chop it up a little bit, man. Maybe in a couple weeks, man, you can get on the show and give us a preview, man. What's going down?
Yeah, let's do it, man. Once football winds down, actually there are preseason basketball games tonight as we're talking, so it's getting started.
Okay, man. Who's playing?
I just know Baron Collier girls are playing because I was at the Baron Collier signing day today, and one of the girls had to run because she had to go to a basketball game.
Oh, okay. They're already signing? What's going on?
Yeah,
it's a little early.
Well, let's see. It's the fall season. The NCAA has a 1-week fall early signing period, and so we had a handful. It's everybody but football. So all the smaller sports get to sign this week. So again, man, shameless plug. Check naplesnews.com Prep Zone for all those signings.
All right, absolutely, man. You guys go to. Is this free or is we have to pay?
Well, I believe all the stories we do, I think right now are free for the first week. So if it's stuff that's getting posted that day, but if you want to go back into the archives, you got to get a subscription for that.
Okay.
I got to get paid somehow. You know how it is.
You got a family to feed. I feel you, man.
I got kids to feed. That's right.
Yeah, man. All right, Adam, man. Thank you so much, man. Look forward to having you back on again, man. You have a
yes, man. That was good.
Yeah, man.
You too, man. We'll talk to you later.
All right, man. Good night, man.
All right, see you.
You too, man. Yeah, man, that was Adam, man. Solid guy, man. Like having him on the show. This is the second time around. He's very knowledgeable around sports around this area, man. Great. Look forward to him talking with me about basketball. I think I'm going to do some basketball coverage this year on No Cupcake Sound. Maybe we'll call it something else. No Cupcake Rim or Above the Rim podcast or something like that, man. But anyways, man, make sure to go to Spreaker.com. Also, NoCupcakeZone.com, iTunes. Also, I'm on Castmate, to get my podcast on there, and Stitcher. And also go to audibletrial.com/NoCupcakeZone. And download the free app, and also get a 30-day free trial of audiobooks, man. Hey, we gotta feed the children. Anyways, man, shout out to CJ Noel Insurance Services for the sponsor. I got a announcement, but I don't want to roll it out yet. It's still in the works, trying to get the logistics together. So you guys check me out, man. Every week Sunday, I just did this special show because I had I hit up Adam, and this is the time I could get him. Tomorrow, I might do another show, man. So you guys might have to check me out 3 times this week, man. But anyways, man, you guys have a good night.
Poppin' shit at the pilot. Niggas be broken, be starving, but still talking shit like they ballin'. They say that they honest, how money these niggas gon' say that they got it. Getting out with the kid is success, and these niggas gon' blame it on talent. They don't wanna see you win. They don't wanna see the race. You don't wanna see a bitch caught up in the stars like she out of space. Mention at the kind of at the mention, and I'm running out of space. Tell your homie, keep on coming out his mouth and send his song around his way. Niggas barely getting lawyer money. Better get some sick soy money. Running around like you Superman. Don't be selfish, get your mom insurance money. Woo! Cause I'm the one to put it on your money. I'm the one to make it happen to you niggas. What you fucking ran and do it for me? Hop in the Raven, I bought it, it's Liddy again. Fly out a bit from the tropic and Liddy again. All of my partners is poppin', you know that we Liddy again. All of the fours on college, you know that we Liddy again. They don't wanna see the squad, they don't wanna see the rain. They don't wanna see a bitch up in the stars like she going out of space. Liddy again, I got it, we Liddy again. Liddy again, I got it, we did it, we Liddy again. Feature money out of safe, went and bought a Ray, brought it on college. Niggas talking like they want it when we in the city, they don't want problems. Niggas say they gon' rob us, but nigga, we coming for welfare. I shoot a bullet when I pull it, how you catch a bullet like an NFL player? Should've known it was Liddy when bitches don't lying on my dick. Lie on they pussy like I hit, can't even be a side bitch. I'm in 9s, 10s, and you ain't even looking like you a 5. Bro, bitches tryna do it for Twitter when they used to do it for viral. 100 man of the hour, I'm the nigga with the airtime. Rolls Royce Ray, put your bitch up in the stars like she in the airline. Niggas talk about my hairline, I laugh about it, I be feeling them. See, we be both making M's, they be making memes, I be making millions. I just counted up a $250,000, a QM, that's $250,000. They don't wanna see Jay drop 6 flying private when he go to Philly. Funny money, yeah, I know it's silly, but your whole feel me. When I pull up and I got a pour hole for her, on the promise she gon' know it's Liddy, motherfucker. Yeah. Hop in the Raven, I bought it, it's Liddy again. Fly out a bit from the tropic and Liddy again. All of my partners is poppin', you know that we Liddy again. All of the fours on college, you know that we Liddy again. They don't wanna see the squad, they don't wanna see the rain. They don't wanna see a bitch up in the stars like she going out of space. Liddy again, I got it, we Liddy again. Liddy again, I got it, we did it, we Liddy again. All of my niggas is way up, these niggas is haters, I know that they hate us. I score your take a meal like a layup. I pop a pill just to stay up. I took the lean just to slow it up. I'm with my team and we going up. All of these foreigns, they know us. Whip it, whip it, whip it, whip it, whip it like the coca when we mix the soda up. Perfect time and then we blowing up. Fuck it, I'ma like the rollie up. Shorty fucking for Chanel. I ain't tripping, that's a coconut. Push the ride to the motor bus. Stack the paper full of sofa. Lay on that paper. I am not slacking, I stay on that paper. I feel like it's a restraining order on that money, cause y'all stay away from that paper. I know some niggas that used to be ballin', but now they all feeling the way by this paper. I be spending 100 after 100. They thought I was making this paper. Fucking it good, I be raping this paper. Shit, I might as well get married to money. I married Nikki, still married to money. She rich as Mariah, I carry the money. And fuck a deposit, I bury the money. I bury the money and hang out my pocket, embarrassing money. I act like I ain't used to having this money. Oh! Hop in the red, then I bought it, it's Liddy again. Fly out a bit from the tropic and Liddy again. All of my